The agreement that we've just signed today is part of Australia's support package to Fiji. Outside of this support package and during the very early days of the pandemic, we provided support to the Minister's ministry, critical personal PPE gear, and in over the last 3 weeks or so we've flown in 220 tonnes of COVID-related medical supplies and equipment to help the Government of Fiji respond to PC Harold. And I'd like to thank the Minister and Minister Siriarata, who's not here today, for their support in getting this equipment into Fiji. And today, as the Permanent Secretary pointed out, we are committing a total grant of Australian 12.2 million for fiscal year 1920, and this includes additional support to the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, support to the NDMO, and of course to the Ministry of the Economy. And importantly, as the PS pointed out, this will be provided in the form of direct budget support, which is a very welcome development from my perspective. And I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate the Minister and his ministry for the wonderful work that they've done in respect to COVID-19. Fiji moved quickly and decisively when COVID first emerged. The government was prepared to make the tough but necessary decisions. The Ministry of Health had a plan which it executed faultlessly, and as a consequence, Fiji is on the cusp of being declared COVID-free. And that is a wonderful achievement. The challenge now for Fiji and for many other countries, including mine, is to chart a path to economic recovery. And I have every confidence in the government's ability to do so. This is a government with a sense of purpose and an agenda of reform and rejuvenation. And I acknowledge that Australia and New Zealand will play a key role in helping Fiji's economic recovery. The Attorney-General and I, along with my New Zealand counterpart, Jonathan Kerr, have already had lengthy discussions on how we can get Australian and New Zealand tourists back into this wonderful country. And indeed, the Attorney-General has spoken at length to the Australian Foreign Minister and has written to her expressing Fiji's strong interest in being included in any travel bubble that emerges. It is some time away, but Fiji is very much front of mind for us. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few words, I'd like to thank the Attorney-General, the Minister, members of the media for being here today, and for the close and collaborative partnership that we enjoy with Fiji. Thank you very much.
Good. It gives me great pleasure to be here and to express the gratitude of the Minister of Health and also the Fijian people to the Australian government and all Australians for the support to Fiji throughout our COVID-19 containment period. The total package, as we have heard, of Australia's COVID-19 direct funding to Fiji is Australian 12.215 million, but 2.915 million of that is allocated to the Minister of Health and Medical Services for support for procurement and direct budget support. To date, Australia's broader support for the Minister of Health and Medical Services COVID-19 efforts has been through the procurement of personal protective equipment, medical and lab consumables, flu vaccines, support for public health messages, risk communications, and many others. Other partners working with DFAT and Ministry of Health and Medical Services to secure the procurement of these essential supplies and in consumables include AMFAT, New Zealand, UNICEF, WHO, and SPC. I must also say that our Permanent Secretary of Health is also Australian, so that has also been very helpful. Today is the 26th day from our last case, case 18, and as we all know, we have a 78% recovery rate, and our success rate as a nation can be equally shared with all that support us and stood by us during our COVID-19 containment effort, and the Australian government through DFAT is one important and key player in that process. Once again, on behalf of the Health Ministry and the Fijian people, we thank you. Mlabalevu.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you. As highlighted by the Honourable Minister and His Excellency John Feeks, that is indeed quite an auspicious occasion for us. The agreement that we've signed is for the sum of $12.215 million. And if it'd be, I think, important for us to give you a breakdown of what that money is going to be used for, and indeed what it's specifically for. We have out of the $12.215 million, $2.9 million Australian is actually going towards specifically to the Ministry of Health and Medical Services. $200,000 is going specifically for the National Disaster Management Office. The remaining of the $8.1 million is a general support for COVID-19. It's going to general budget support. Now, as highlighted by the High Commissioner, this is a first in respect of the direct budget support. I'd like to thank His Excellency actually for his efforts. We've seen, of course, the Europeans have given direct budget support, and the Kiwis are coming too on the same platform. And you will see that this is one of the better ways of utilization of funds, because the central agency that disburses the funds and also assesses the national priorities, it's best that the funds actually come through budget support, because we're able to then develop the synergies that's required across the different ministries. There is a $1 million actually that's there to support the Fijian government sustained private sector-led growth program, which we're working concurrently with the World Bank and the ADB, which has made a huge number of packages available to us, where we have under sub-program 3, $200 million US is being made available to us. We're currently in the final stages with submission for their boards for the approval for that. Sub-program 2 also saw ADB providing $65 million, while World Bank provided $64 million respectively. So these are the sort of works that has been going on behind the scenes. Of course, COVID-19 has presented not only medical and health challenges, but also enormous economic challenges. It has completely, in a way, dismantled the economic fundamentals of most countries in the world. And in our case, of course, you have seen that happen with the tourism sector. And there is, of course, a need to get the tourism sector back on, but also how do we actually re-engineer the tourism market going forward? What will be the types of products we'll offer? What type of specials we can offer, what is going to be the pricing on our F&B, food and beverage, what are the other sectors that we need to actually grow within the economy to diversify our risk in respect of dependencies of different sectors within the Fijian economy. And I'd like to thank the Australian government for the support, not just in respect of this particular financial support that we have, specifically that we're signing for, but of course the ongoing aid projects that they've engaged in. And also the technical aspects of the support. As you know, that is highlighted by the High Commissioner. We've had discussions with the respective ministers from Australia and New Zealand, and we look forward to working with them in collaboration to be able to get into this travel bubble going forward. But all of us have to do quite a lot of work in that respect, and we need a bit of time to do so. So once again, thank you very much. We look forward to further support. And we'd like to also take this opportunity, as highlighted by the Minister previously on other occasions, to thank all the health workers that have been involved in respect of getting us to where we are today. His team, his permanent secretary, he himself, and of course all the Fijians who've been involved, in particular adhering to the various orders that have been issued, the curfew measures that have been put in place, and of course the social distancing that is critically important. And going forward, of course, as you know, that we've announced that we're going to very soon launch a contact tracing app. We look forward to huge uptake of that, because that will of course instill confidence in individual citizens, but also visitors who will come to Fiji to know that they have some form of technology they can rely on. And it is very similar to what the Australians are currently using.
Exactly the same.
So that's one of the areas going forward that we are looking at. So thank you once again.
Thank you.